Hey, 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 good afternoon and good morning from wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome and welcome back. We are Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I'm so glad to be back with y'all. I'm invigorated. Happy New Year, everybody. And we hope you enjoyed today's show. So, today's conversation is about parenting and money. Okay. Parenting and money, because most kids see their parents as a bank at some point, and that's normal. That comes with the job. But comedian Ryan Davis says something about that shift harder than he expected. Ryan shared this during a conversation with Shannon Sharpe. He said he watched his daughter go from loving him simply because he was her dad to seeing him as access to material things. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting it together. In his words, she went from I love my dad to let me see what I can get out of him. These are his words. He said once the relationship started feeling tied to what he could give her, it broke him. And that is heartbreaking. Not because kids ask for things, but because it stopped feeling unconditional and started feeling transactional. Okay. So today we're talking about this and where that line is and what's normal and whether it was appropriate to put his daughter in their relationship on the internet in this way. Ooh, okay. Well, today I have some beautiful ladies with me. We've got Nomalanga in the house, marriage, money, and mindset. Wait a minute, marriage, money, and help me out, Noma. Oh,
Motherhood.
hey. Did I get that right?
Motherhood.
Marriage, motherhood, and money making.
Motherhood. I knew I was missing. I had one wrong M. Forgive me. Awesome. And we have Aisha Verzi, financial expert, here with us today. And welcome to Dominique Morgan. She is a realtor, an RN, and a coach from the Chicagoland area. So me and her have something in common. We are code today. Okay. So we're excited to have you guys here with us today. So Tiara, are we ready to go to a video? Let's take a look at this video and see what comedian Ryan Davis had to say about his relationship with his daughter. Oh, okay. So first, before we go to the video, I'd like to know what you ladies think about that. So what do you think about a parent feeling like at a certain point they're kind of like an ATM for their kid? He's saying that this feels kind of transactional at this point. I believe his daughter is 11. Nomalanga, what do you feel about that?
Well, a father and a husband is a provider, so I'm not sure until I hear a little bit more what the problem is. Especially if it's an 11-year-old child. There is no other way she can make her way through life except through her parents. And being her father, he's one of the parents.
That's a very good perspective. We cannot play the video due to copyright, but we're going to talk about this. I did see a clip of the video, and Aisha, what do you think about it?
Well, happy New Year, everyone. Great to be back. I think my first thought was 11-year-olds, there has to be more behind the scenes that we need to understand, because a child is a child. And we all know that, especially if you're a parent, where they think you're an ATM machine, you just open your wallet and money just flies out of it, right?
Yes.
That's just how they feel. But
Yes.
if he's feeling some kind of way about it, there's something more that we don't know that we need to find out. I'm sure it's maybe relational. Maybe there's another involved that is making this the way it is, because it has to be something that is causing this angst. So we'll see.
Yes, yes. One of the things that with my question, when I saw the little clip like a couple days ago, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm thinking that he's talking about an older child, like maybe an older teen, maybe like 18, or a child who's in their early 20s. So it struck me odd that he's talking about an 11-year-old child and how he's feeling about her only wanting him or wanting to express love to him or be around him if he can give her something. That's a little odd to me. Dominique, what do you think?
Well, being
And I think Dominique froze a little bit. So I'll tell you what I think. I think that it's a little odd. It's a little odd, especially because she's 11.
Yeah.
As I have an 8-year-old daughter, right? And she comes to me sometimes, and we're very lovey-dovey with each other. She comes to me sometimes. She's like, "Mama, I love you." And I'm like, "Oh, Journey, I love you too." And then she's like, "Mama, can we go to the trampoline park?" And sometimes I'm like, "Girl, okay, so you came and told me you love me just so you can get the trampoline park." But that's kind of what kids do sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Noma said, like, we are their financial access. We are the access that they have to anything because they can't do anything for themselves. So I think I would need to hear more context about or examples now that he's put it out there. Not saying that he should have about his 11-year-old, but I would like to hear some more examples about what this transactional, what these scenarios are, right? And if you're here and you're in the chat, please weigh in. I would love to hear what you guys think about this scenario. So Dominique, apologies, you went frozen for a little bit. So what do you think about it?
So I'm a mom of 2. My oldest is 20, and it's kind of the process. They get to a certain age and they're becoming more independent and they're not relying on us as much. And the only thing that they really need us for is for finances, right? Financial stability. They need us to buy their clothes. They can't do that on their own. And so I just feel like it's the normal process. But to add another little piece to that, I feel like the way you create the relationship that you create with your children, if you create that dynamic, then that's what they come to you for. If you create a dynamic where, you have a relationship with them and you're talking to them and you're connected with them, they're not just coming to you for money. So I could speak to my 20-year-old. My husband would have the same, mindset or same thoughts about our 20-year-old. Well, she doesn't just come to me for money. She comes to me have a conversation. She comes to me when she needs advice. She comes to me sometimes for money. I just think it just depends on the type of relationship that you create. And when it comes to men are providers. And so oftentimes the children are going to go to the men because that's the way that they want to be seen. And that's sometimes their value is in being that provider.
I agree wholeheartedly. Because if he kind of had a relationship with his daughter, whereas he left all of the emotional bonding and the rearing and everything on the mom, and they don't really have that type of relationship, then I can see why she would come to him and be like, "Okay, well, I need XYZ, Dad. I need XYZ." I'm wondering what's going on behind the scenes and why.
Is he even with the mother? Is he with her?
I don't think
he's not with the mother.
Because that's a very strong element. Because
That's
then
right.
it means that
Right.
it means that the mother is the one who may be
Coursing,
dictating the daughter how the daughter sees the father, and that that's a very, very strong element. Because if you're looking at it in terms of a father who's in the home, I'm talking about a mother and a father who are in the home and they're married. It's a family like that. Typically, the highest currency for the father is respect and appreciation.
That's right.
That's what he needs from his wife. That's what he needs from his children. And when you start hearing him complaining and saying, "You just think I'm an ATM," it's because there's a lack of respect and a lack of appreciation. So you're expecting him to give out the money, but he's not getting back in the currency that he needs. So Again, I don't know. I actually like Ryan. I used to see his videos and he's hella funny. But I don't know his personal situation in terms of, is that his wife? Is that his ex-girlfriend? Is there conflict between him and the mother of the child? Does the child live with him? Does the child live with the mother? All of those are elements that could help us understand the situation better.
Yes.
That's a great perspective. I would also like to say, like, even if they're not living in the same home, right? It could be possible that the mom is influencing this a little bit.
Yes.
But I also believe that, again, it goes back to the relationship that he's established with the child and the relationship that he currently has with the child. If he is involved with the child in other ways other than financially involved, the child, I don't believe that a child would really, even though they're impressionable. And again, she's a child. We're not going to get her.
11, she's a child.
She's a child. Deborah, thank you so much. Deborah will win 11. Hey, Deborah, Happy New Year. Nice to see you back. She said, I saw this interview and I believe it has something to do with how he was raised and maybe how he and his daughter's mother may not be on the same parenting
That's
page.
right.
So that is
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, that's the key right there. It's the key. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
I was raised by my dad, by myself, right? My dad raised us as a single father. And so the dynamics that I have with my father, I never just went to him for money. First of all, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So let's start there. But he spent a lot of time. He was like, when it came to our friends, he was one of the only dads, right? Everybody had their mom, but there were very few fathers around. He took us to extracurricular activities. You know, we did fun stuff. He taught us stuff. He may not have been able to provide all the finances. And as an adult now, you know, and even as a kid, that wasn't the first thing that we went to him for. We knew that he had our back. So if something was going down, we were going to daddy. You know, we wanted to participate in something. We went to daddy. But that's the relationship that he made sure that he cultivated with us. So he wasn't just the provider. He was the full package.
Yes. And to me, that sticks out to me in this conversation that we're having. It is, what is the relationship that you have established as a father with your daughter? If you have established a relationship where you're the ATM, that's what she's going to come to you for. Yeah. If you have established a relationship where you are the loving dad, the involved dad, and you're her friend, you're her dad, then she's going to come to you for those things outside of the money. Tiara, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
Hey.
You know, I had a lot of things to say on this particular topic because I went down the rabbit hole. And like Nomalanga said earlier, I really like Ryan a lot. I like his comedy. I like how vulnerable and authentic he always feels to me. Like, that's what, as an artist, that's what we do. We get out on the stage and we just say, here's what's happening in my life and blah. And then we make it funny or we make it sultry or whatever it is, right? So, you know, I don't think he's with the mother anymore. He's obviously not with the mother, but he was saying in the video that at some point, I guess they did have that relationship. And then I think him starting to make money and everybody starting to see him as this person that has money contributed to that, like to that feeling. And it made me just think about, and I want to go all off topic, but it makes me think about just Black men in general. It feels like in society, they are seen as providers, Nomalanga, because I know what Nomalanga's gonna say, like, you got to provide. But when I look at the internet, it's like, that's all men are good for. That's the value. And that's it, right? If you can't cash at me or you can't send me money, we don't need to go on a date. We don't have to. So it felt a little bit like that, like just feeling the angst of that, like that's not all I'm good for, or the pressures of just being an ATM machine, or people not really caring about who you are. They just care about what you can provide for them. And then also, and then just also, I think it's important to know that his relationship, in that same interview, he was talking about his relationship with his mother and saying that his mother had, it's important to know the lens. She had she had 4 babies before she was 17.
19.
And 4 babies before 17, and he resented her for staying with the father because he didn't treat her well. He didn't treat her well. He put her through all kinds of things and she wouldn't leave. So he like felt some type of way that she didn't leave and she wasn't strong enough, right? To deal with, to handle whatever it was. And she took that out on her children. And so he said that they were estranged for like 4 years because of whatever boundaries he had to put up with her. But in the interview, he said, but I need you. And I know my mom's gonna be mad when she sees this interview, but I need you. I want you to be my mother. I still have hope that we can have a relationship. So while I thought it was a little perplexing that he would mention his 11-year-old in this interview in this way, it's just right on brand for the way he expresses himself, which I didn't know if I had a problem with. Now, the internet took it and was really triggered by what he said. And I have a whole bunch of videos of women, Black women in particular, being triggered by this. And I thought that was interesting. So I can't wait to play that for you. But just like they said that, oh, he's just saying his daughter's a gold digger. That's not what he said.
Oh,
So
no.
he responded to
Mhm.
the internet. So I have that, but I can't play the Club Shay Shay videos because we'll get banned, right, by YouTube. So I can play that. You guys want to see that?
Yes,
His
please.
response.
I'd
All
like
right,
to
let's
see
do it.
that.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Have people always been this stupid? I didn't know. I've cultivated an audience of people who can critically think. So maybe I've been in a bubble. I didn't know people were this stupid. Why ain't y'all warn me? I'm in the comment section of these Shannon Sharpe clips, and I'm like, I know they're captioned a certain way, but you can hear me in the video. You can hear me in the video. Let me give you an example of what I mean. There's a video going around about Drewski. In the video, I say, I defend comedy over anything. I'm more of a comedian than I am a person. When people say offensive stuff, I'll be like, was it funny? I actually like the way he put that together. And then people got from that I'm hating on Drewski. And that I think we should worry about how offended people are when it comes to comedy. I didn't say that. I literally don't say it in the video. And in the video, Shannon Sharpe has a smooth face. Do y'all know he has a beard now? He has a full beard. So the interview was like 2 months ago. How could I be talking about Drewski's pastor sketch 2 months ago when it came out a few days ago? People's inability to critically think is like crazy. I'm like, nah, have people always been this stupid? And I just shielded myself from it, or is this the thing? Also, the video about my daughter. People are like, I'm calling my daughter a gold digger. I'm blaming her and all kinds of stuff. In the video, I literally say she used to be a daddy's girl. And the reason it became transactional is because, and I can see that she still wants to be a daddy's girl, but there's a fear to get close to me because that closeness was taken away before. I say that in the video, which means I'm not blaming her. I'm talking about the lack of safety that I've made her feel that I'm trying to get back. How did that turn into being about the child? I'm saying to fathers that don't put yourself in a position where you have to win your children back. That's the conversation. I know it's captioned a certain way, but you can hear me say these things. People's inability to critically think, is this the norm? Have people been this stupid the whole time? And because I sectioned myself off to a certain part of social media, because you have to be able to critically think to even enjoy my comedy. Did I make an audience for myself that where I could not see how stupid people are nowadays? I don't mean to call y'all stupid. It's just like the inability to critically think to me means you're kind of dumb. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A little more context. Okay. So I can't wait to get into this with y'all and your thoughts about this. So a couple things. I believe that because of the way that he was raised and he went through some kind of trauma there, we like to generalize men, women, humans, whatever, right? And the generalization that I hear about men is that their primal need is to feel appreciated and respected. Mm-hmm. I think that for some people, that's correct. I think that is not a blanketed statement we can label everything with. I think that this brother, from what he experienced with his parents in his past, I think his primal need is to feel loved. And I feel like he's not feeling loved for whatever reason by his daughter. And this is the thing. Also, he just said, and I don't know if there's a video out there on the internet of him saying what exactly he did, but he just kind of admitted that he did something to lose his daughter's love in that way.
Sounds like he was gone a lot.
Yeah, he works. I mean, he's a celebrity.
Comedian. He's working.
Yeah, he's working.
Is that what he said was the thing?
Well, it has to be.
Separation.
Well, yeah, it may not be. He said that she is afraid to get close to him. What does that mean? And he did something, and then he goes, dads, don't get to the point where you have to go and repair a relationship with your child. We're assuming that it's just because he's busy and he's a comedian and he's working. Right. But what is that thing? She's afraid to get close to him. What do you ladies think?
I was thinking about it. I'm sorry, when he was speaking, because
I
I know when I saw the clip earlier, and then now what he said, now based on the reaction everybody was giving him, right? And he said she used to be a daddy's girl, which means there was a closeness there that he enjoyed as a father with his daughter, maybe with the mom there as well. So that everything was great. But then now he's becoming somebody, and now he's doing stuff. Maybe then now him and his spouse or wife, something got in between them, and now there's separation. So now now when she goes to one home, something happens, another home, something happens. So now there's something missing in between now for them.
But he didn't say that.
Yeah, but they are separated. They are
That's
separated.
No,
What
I'm
happened?
saying he didn't say that was the issue, because she
Yes,
goes here.
I know what you mean. He didn't say that, but us, like he said, what is it that we're missing, that we're overthinking and thinking that is something that he did wrong, that they're calling him
Yeah, like there's something dubious about
on.
him. We're
Yeah,
trying to
like,
like,
No, and I don't think
He's
it's
a
devious.
father. He's a
I don't
father.
think
He misses his daughter, maybe because of a separation in the family, and he's feeling, wow, she used to be my daughter, but now it's only transactional because maybe somebody's coercing her in the back, asking for this. We don't want to hear. We don't care how he feels. He's working. He has the money. Let him bring the money. So then now she's afraid. She doesn't know how to approach her father that she loves, because now there's something in between. To me, that's what I feel, and I get his point. When did I say she's a gold digger now? This is crazy. Again, what kind of women can even think that he's thinking his daughter is a gold digger? That is like way off, right? And to me, I support
That's what
him.
the
That
internet
is
said.
way off.
Yeah. Dominique, I know you were trying to say something and the internet was a little wonky.
I think that sometimes it sounds like, based on his conversation, that he's also going through some healing, right? He may be doing some inner work, and he could have had an episode where he kind of lashed out because he was overwhelmed or frustrated by the fact that they only come to him for money. And again, if you establish that type of relationship, and that's what it is. If there's a breakup and the mother's like, well, I have you all the time, go ask your dad to do this. And so now this baby is placed in the middle of the situation that she's a kid. So yeah, she may be a little afraid to talk to her dad. And because he's had traumas, issues with his mother, he already doesn't feel loved. He feels abandoned by his mother. He could be projecting the energy on his daughter, which is making his daughter feel unsafe.
Yeah.
She's not. Can you hear Dominique?
No, she's breaking up.
Yeah.
Dominique, you're breaking up. You may have to. You might have to go out and come back in, Mama, because you're breaking up.
I agree with Deborah. It's like probably the breakup took to different journeys. To me, that's what's happening, and kids respond to that in different ways, right?
Yeah. I hear everything you guys are saying. I think everything that we're saying, because we don't know the real context, is a possibility. I'm just saying, from the video that he just put out in response, he didn't say anything about like breaking up and it's something that's happening when I'm not there. He didn't really say what it was, but what he did say was, I did something to make this child fear coming to me in that way. That's what he said out of his mouth. I did something to make this child fear coming to me in this way, and now I've got to repair that. And he's feeling hurt behind the response that he's getting from his child. But it's going to be unless we have more context, and hopefully he'll share some more about why it is that he's saying what he's saying. Hopefully we can get more context to really see what the issue is. But I think that what we're all saying is definitely valid. It could be any of these scenarios. It could be the breakup. It could be someone else influencing her. But I'm going by what he's saying, because we don't know. And I know
maybe he had a huge fight with the mother and she witnessed it, so she didn't feel safe around. Like, oh my God, my dad and my mom had a big fight. Oh my gosh, my dad that I love so much. It could be so many things.
Sometimes it's not even that deep. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not even that deep. Like little kids, I have one of our youngest is 5 years old. Okay. If I mess around and leave and she didn't hear me say bye and explain where I'm going, and then I'm gone a long time, the next day she will not let me out of her sight. I've already, the trust is already like, know, I mean, it doesn't even have to be that deep. Little kids are just, and again, with my other children, sometimes you as a working mom, even if you're not working that 9 to 5, sometimes you got a conference and you're gone for a day or two or whatever it is. And they can have feelings about those things. That's why I said it so strongly that it's probably because he got successful, it was on the road a lot, and she felt abandoned and neglected. It doesn't have to be a major thing where he, broke the mom's jaw and traumatized everybody. It doesn't have to be that. And if we don't know that's what it is, I just don't like the idea of trying to insinuate it because we don't know.
Exactly. Me too. I think it's not as deep, like you said, Noma.
Yeah.
It's just family stuff. It's not as deep. It's just, that's why I say, are you guys serious that you're taking it as a gold digger? Because it's absurd. Like, nah.
I think people are taking. Oh, sorry, Aisha. I think people are taking it serious because he mentioned it. And he mentioned that this is a deep wound for him. Like, we wouldn't know anything about this. And has he had a conversation with his daughter? Like, hey, we used to have this type of relationship and I used to feel this from you and everything. And what happened? Has he had a conversation with his daughter about it? Has he brought it to her attention? Has he taken her out for ice cream and said, hey, let's just talk? You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be something really deep, or it could be something very like surface level that, again, kids they have their own perceptions about things, right? And they make things up in their heads. It could be either or. We don't know what it is, but my question for him would be, have you talked to your daughter about it? Because she is 11. I mean, she can have that conversation with you. It's not like she's 4 and you kind of got to guess. She can have this conversation. Double AA 82 said she's 11. He shouldn't even be discussing this. And I, so the way I feel about that is, I feel like if he's discussing it, it probably is deep, because if it wasn't deep, then why would he be saying anything? I don't know, guys. I surely hope he has had a conversation with this internet. This is on the internet. I believe so too. What
was really interesting to me is Black women's response to him.
Yes.
And I really want to get into it because Black women were really triggered, and it made me think like Black women are really triggered by Black men. Like when I look on these
they're ready to
looking
throw them
around,
under the bus.
it's like
honestly,
they made up some shit, and it was like it was so much because we don't know, and but I think people are processing this from their lens, and I just want y'all to see how deep it got. How y'all want to see? I want let's look.
See it. Let's look. Like, wow.
What could a 10-year-old little girl be asking her father for that is so outlandish, so unreasonable? He has to get on Shannon Sharpe's interview and discuss how their relationship is heading in the wrong direction. How she only sees him as an ATM. What did she ask you for? A Stanley Cup? American Dream doll? An iPad? Some makeup at Sephora? Let's be honest. We are only having this conversation because Black men have become so comfortable bragging about how they don't want to be providers. So maybe you don't like your baby mama, okay. But to put your child in the middle of this is just wrong. And I like you, Ryan Davis. I do. I think you're a talented comedian. Watch your career grow over the course of the last few years. And I'm really proud of you. But this, sir, this ain't it. This ain't it, bro. What good is it to make all this money if you can't provide for your child in the fun years, the years where she ain't even hit the years where it's rough, okay? She ain't hit them teen years. She ain't even in middle school yet, okay? What could be so unreasonable that she is asking for you at this age? Money is called currency for a reason. It flows, just like the water in the ocean. The waves you push out are bound to come back to you. That's what my dad taught me about money. My dad wouldn't even let me pay for his birthday dinner. I had to sneak my card at my grown age to a waitress because he was of a generation where he provided. Don't let another man be the one to teach your daughter what money, love, and currency is.
So I don't really see anything outlandish about what she said. But again, I think everyone's just speculating. And since he put it on the internet, everybody can go live and do whatever, and they're saying whatever. I have a question for you guys. So how should parents go about teaching value to their children? and the value of relationship with parents without putting a price on it. Because we already said kids are going to come to us for the stuff because we have the money to get them the stuff. We have to provide for them. But I'm sure that this is not just him feeling like this. I'm sure a lot of parents feel like this. I would dare to say probably with older children, and you feel like you're getting taken advantage of, because the way it sounds, he sounds like he believes he's, getting taken advantage of in that way. But how do you instill value in your children without putting a price on things? Nomalanga.
So with custodial parents, that often isn't even an issue, because you're kind of busy providing the bare necessities, roof over their head, electricity, water, cable, all that stuff. They generally, children don't see you as their piggy bank because you draw those lines. I make it clear to all our children. Our oldest is 20, and I said our youngest is 5. They all understand that I and their father have a responsibility to provide for them a home, love, all of these other things. But then there are other things that are privileges, and we're very clear about what's a privilege. If you've eaten, there's a roof over your head and all these other things, you don't get to nag me about an iPhone or iPad or whatever it is. Those are privileges. And even when you do get it, using it is a privilege, and it's contingent on you being a contributing member of this family and behaving the way that we've established is okay. And when you don't behave that way, we remove the privileges. But that's parenting. That's just basic parenting. Right. And I don't see how, if you have a mother and a father in a home, that a child can start thinking the dad is a piggy bank. The mother is the one who's the most responsible for shaping how children see their father based on how she models the respect and the love and the appreciation and other things. So it's just difficult for me to hear that a child is behaving this way without being influenced by an adult. It's hard for me to believe that.
Okay, all right. Oh, I was just about to go.
Just about to ask Tiara.
Oh, there we go. Aisha, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm siding with Noma. I believe that if you have a home where there's respect for the father as a provider and the protector, and the mother as also the support or helper in the home, you won't have that. Because what you have, at home, you have a roof over your head, you have food, you have water, you have safety. Everything else is added on as a privilege, and we can take it away from you if we don't think you're acting according to the values of the family, right? So that to me makes more sense. And then if there's a separation, that is when you see stuff like this happening, where now the love for the father starts becoming one way because things have changed, become transactional, where, oh, if you do this, then you can see us, or because you didn't do this quick enough, then we have to delay you for 2 weeks, you can see us. Then even him, he starts feeling a kind of different kind of way, and then the child begins to sense it as well. So it just begins to snowball down. Those kind of behaviors start to snowball, and it's all because of the separation somewhere. And then so there's no support. Whether the spouse is not supporting the husband, or either way, they're not supporting each other. They're not on the same page. So now the kids become a pawn where, okay, ask for this. If you don't get this, well, we're not going to see him. And then he too will say, well, you know what, I'm busy too. It starts becoming like a child's play. Unfortunately, this is what happens. I've seen it. People do that. And we know that they're doing it as a weapon. We know, right? They start saying things that make no sense. If they were all together, this wouldn't be happening. So to me, with everything that we're all saying, I hope that this 11-year-old is removed from the situation where it doesn't become where now the whole world sees her in one certain way, because it will affect her. Whether he understands it or not, or sees, what's going to happen to her or not, it will affect her regardless, right? Because now we're talking about it. So hopefully this will be stopped quickly, and we as well as parents will not participate in it. If we hear it, we're not going to repeat it, because we realize that it's like our own daughter. That's how we should look at her. Like, no, we're not going to talk about gold digger or nonsense. That is, come on. She's a child. Let's just say, hey, what happened here? Let's fix the problem instead of making it worse than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I haven't seen, like, I don't know this guy. I haven't seen any of his videos. Now I'm gonna have to go look, and I haven't seen any of the comments and everything. So I'm going back totally by what you guys said. Tiara, I would love to hear your perspective on this. I'm gonna give you guys my perspective. So my parents were divorced when I was 7 years old. There's four of us. My older sister was 11, I was 7, and then the two younger ones were like 3 and 4, right? And I remember being in a situation where my mother was not bad talking my dad at all. I came to conclusions about my father from his example, from his modeling, from what he did, from what he did not do. And and I've always been a very outspoken child. I got in trouble a lot for it, okay? But I was the child to be like, no, this is wrong. And why are you doing this? I would question my father. I would question my mother. And why are you doing this? And you know what I got from my dad and everybody on my dad's side of the family who wanted to cover up what he was doing? Your mother told you to say that. And it was so frustrating. And I was always a child who understood and could see things, and I would know what's going on, right? I was very aware. And it was, your mother told you to say this. If I asked my dad for money, why? Your mother told you to come to me for money? So I am just not buying that this 11-year-old, older than me, this 11-year-old child, and it could be, but I'm not buying that this 11-year-old child is just being influenced by the mom, and that father is modeling, if he's modeling a great relationship for her, that she's just believing that he's just, only good for money. I'm not buying
But
it.
don't you think that parental alienation is a real thing? Because actually it is.
Absolutely.
People can actually get
It's
sued
an
for
absolutely real
parental
thing.
alienation. It's something that exists, and we
Yes.
don't know
It
if this is what
exists.
happened here or not. We just
Right.
don't
We
know.
don't. We're all speculating. So it definitely exists. Tiara, what do you think?
What just made, I just think about my own daughter, and, Lauren is at the point she'll be 15 this year, and every day Lauren asks for something else. Like on Christmas, it's like Christmas, she got all of the things. I remember we let her put together a list at this point. And so on the list, it was like an iPad. It's like an Aloe quarter zip. Aloe quarter zips are $169. I went to the store and saw. So like at this point, like kids are looking, either they're looking at their parents. She always says, she was like, you the rich parent. So I'm gonna ask you, right? And so when I pick her up to school, I'm like, hey, you want to go have lunch? She's like, yeah, can we go to Mastro's? Like Lauren, just what she thinks. I said, well, how much do you think I make a month? I'm just curious. She was like, I don't know. How much do you make? Maybe $50,000 a month.
You're rich, girl.
Like to her, I'm rich, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter because every time, and then there's a part of, and so I think about a lot of us millennials that maybe grew up eating syrup sandwiches and mayonnaise sandwiches or whatever you ate when you was young, right? And you grow up and think like, my child will not have to live this way. So you tend to give her all the things. There's a lot of things that Lauren doesn't have to worry about. She's in every class. She does, we also teach her the value of work because she works on television, but she's still very spoiled, if we can use that word. And so I think kids are a little different, especially if you come from a place where you didn't have and you want to give. And that's the balance, right? That's a balancing act for me and her dad. Is this too much? Are we giving her too much without putting a value to it? Because like what Nomalanga and Aisha are saying, I try that with my daughter, like, this is the value. This is you better. But it ends up like, girl, like, can we go get some Yogurtland or whatever? Like, it's not, but she hears me, but I don't think she'll hear me until she gets a little older. Now it just like, because what I model is at any given time, we can go enjoy life. And she's just used to that. So I don't know. That's still a balance. But when I'm thinking about it in the sense of Ryan, if he's making money and he has the means and he's been giving to her, we create our little monsters. We do. We do. I'm not saying they're gold diggers. I wouldn't call my daughter a gold digger, but she definitely is my broke best friend. Definitely. She don't have no money, but always asking for something.
So that's another thing. I had a friend who was divorced, and it was the male parent that I'm talking about. And one of the things that he would always tell me was, I find that since my wife and I broke up, I give my children more and do more because I have this guilt that, in the situation, we put them in the situation. So it's kind of like they have a longer rope. Now, a kid who has both parents, sometimes you'll have the strict parent and the lenient parent, and then that creates balance, right? But I do certainly understand sometimes we do have like, and even where you said like, sometimes we do have a generation that overgives because they didn't have, so now they overdo. And sometimes it's the other way around. Like, I feel like I see a lot of brats around here, and my kid's not going to be that brat. We can overdo things based on just parenting from a place of reacting as opposed to just setting a philosophy. I'm a teacher, so we always have this where you set the objectives for what you're going to do, and you establish some philosophies. So, there's going to be a lot of things going on, but you got to stick to your philosophy and you got to stick to your objective. And really the objective is to put out a human being out there that's not going to be a little asshole. Sorry for my French.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So for real. So for real.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the solution, right? We don't know what his situation is. I think they need to go to therapy because, like I said, I believe that if this man is talking about it and this is his 11-year-old daughter, there's more than meets the eye here, and we just don't know what it is. And hopefully he'll come out and say more. But let's just assume that this is a really deteriorating little father-daughter relationship, right? How do you reset that type of relationship once it's like transactional like that? What do you guys think?
Well, thank God she's 11. So there's a lot of years ahead of her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that can be repaired with an 11-year-old. He's saying fathers don't have to repair relationships with your kids because it's hard to get them back. But in this case, I think a couple trips, I think a couple really good, not trips, but a couple, I'm saying trips together, like not trips.
Going
like,
with her wherever you
yeah,
go.
like just the, yes.
Yeah.
I don't, it doesn't even have to be elaborate. A couple trips to, wherever, to the park, to sit and talk, to, just have those moments that felt familiar to the both of them. I think they can rekindle that. I think that'll be an easy fix.
Absolutely. It can even be more simple. Go to the supermarket with her, run errands, have her come on the road with you on your shows or whatever it's safe. It doesn't even have to be that fancy. Like when we were growing up, vacations were going to another relative's house. There's no beaches, and that was what a vacation was. And that was enough for us. It was exciting and it was fun. And you had family time,
Yes.
Yeah.
The kids just want to spend time with their family, with their parents. So just time that you value me, you care about me. That's just what they want.
Yes. And that goes back to it. It's what are you modeling? Like, are you, because that's really all kids want. All the gadgets and stuff, that's because of lack of happiness or fulfillment, because of lack of connection, right? So it's easy. Like you said, go to a park, go to the grocery store with her, spend time with her where she knows that she's important to you.
Yes.
You want that relationship with her. And then I don't believe that she'll just be coming to him just for money. Okay, I think we got another video, right?
Although I will say, like, I can imagine that when if you didn't have much and then suddenly your dad has a lot, it can be tempting to be like,
is he that big?
He's pretty susuccessful. Yeah,
he's on Club KK. He's a working.
He's talking about the weird things about him. Okay. That's good. Yeah, Tiara, do we have another video?
We do. Let's get to the triggered ladies.
Watching that clip of Ryan Davis literally calling his 10-year-old daughter a gold digger triggered the fuck out of me, because it reminded me of what I went through when I was growing up with having a father who was financially stable and who used money to make me suffer. And it's really a humiliation ritual. So this also happens when the father cannot be with the mother of that child. It didn't work out. And a lot of people don't understand that if a man cannot be connected to the woman that he was fucking, which is the mother, he divorces. He should abandon. He should be able to, you go with your mother. You're not my child anymore. I can't fuck your mom, so you're not my child anymore. And we see this even in baby mama, baby daddy culture, where you know, the baby daddy stops by the house to see the kid, but he screws the baby mama no matter who he's dating outside the house. He has to screw the baby mama in order to, you know, be a father. It would never be a case where he doesn't want to just screw the baby mama. He could be married. He could have moved on. But this is exactly how a lot of men are. And I see this a lot in the Black community, a lot in the Black community with Black fathers. And even though this is psychologically, I believe this is men in general. But the truth is, a lot of men do not see spending money on a female child, or a child in general, but we're talking about daughters and fathers. I can't fuck my daughter. She's not an investment. And I know that sounds creepy, but that is exactly how they think. I am not with your mother. I'm not.
This is like.
So okay, let's try and reason it out.
First of all, let me just say,
I am like speechless. Like, what?
okay. Okay, although what she's saying
about
may exist in some.
I'm trying to say that when the family unit is not together, he doesn't see how he should financially provide for that family unit. And then if he leaves, he doesn't see it as his family. There's some validity to it. She's just being so vulgar that it was distracting us from the message.
It's too much of a reach where she's going with it.
It really does happen where when men leave, let's say, even they would marry to one woman and then they divorce and then he goes and marries another one. He can literally forget about the kids from the first marriage and just focus on the ones from the second marriage.
Yeah.
And that often happens because, again, that's where he's given them his name. That's what he sees as the people he has to provide for. That's who his family is. And he does have to kind of work hard to bring in those other kids. That's also very common.
Okay, so I agree with you as far as when I was listening to her, I'm like, oh, she has a point in there somewhere, but it was just too much.
It's just too vulgar.
Too vulgar, too far left, too. I don't think that that's the situation with this guy, Ryan. I don't think so. She took something that could be true and tried to attribute it and put it on top of this scenario, but that is a real thing. Case in point with my life, my dad, that's what he did. Him and my mom were married, 4 children. Once my mom was like, I'm not putting up with A, B, and C of what you're doing, and we're getting a divorce, he was like, all right, bet. He literally said to my mom, you will never get a red cent out of me. And although he fathered these 4 children and we're his responsibility in this world, he brought us here. He went off and got married to another woman. And not saying that he was a great man, but eventually he did not provide for us at all. And watch my mother suffer. It was all about watching my mother suffer. So what she said, it is true. I just don't know how she's correlating that to this particular scenario, unless there's a video out there about this with Ryan that I'm missing.
Well, people do tend to just take situations and then project their own.
Yeah,
she did start with my mother this and my father that, and then she just started talking about what happened to her.
Yeah, that projection was
on the situation.
That was very strong.
I was like confused. I'm like, she gonna get to it. She's gonna make the dot. But no, girl, those were your dots. Don't be putting your dots over here.
Like that, she was speaking to the public like that. She was just speaking like the vulgarity, and then to say that's how it is in the Black community.
Yeah, and I don't want it to. I hate when people get out there and say things like this sometimes. But
the young girls are listening. Our daughters are listening. That this is how our Black men are. That's literally what she's just saying with a straight face. She's saying it and just pointing it out there like that.
And the thing is, she didn't even say all Black men, but the fact that she's a Black woman saying that, people will take that and say, oh, she's just blanking out with generalization.
She did in the Black community. Yeah.
Oh, damn. See, I didn't even.
I learned when we've had Joe on the panel. He always says that people's lived experiences cannot be ignored. So that is literally her experience. And probably everybody around her, had that same experience. So that to her informs her view of the world. I remember I went through a phase where I thought that everybody came from a 2-parent home and they had stability and blah, 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 blah. And then I also went to private school and I thought everybody had everything that they needed and blah, blah, blah. And I got shocks when I started seeing extreme poverty and seeing people with like, oh, you don't have a father? Oh, that was a bit shocking for somebody who'd grown up in a bit of a bubble. And when you'd hear me speaking, I would even generalize it to my whole country. And it sometimes isn't even true. There's a population that experienced one thing and then there's a population that experienced something else. But when you talk, you're going to talk about your own experience, your own lived experience and what you see around you. My mother was one of 5 girls and they were all married. So to me, that seemed like something normal. Right. And then like when I was 19, I moved to America and I saw something different. And then it starts to inform you like, okay, so maybe not everybody has the same experience as me. And experience is valid. And then you kind of get into a phase where you kind of try to understand, how did people get to where they are? How did I get to where I am? And that's where you have conversations.
Yeah. And I'm all for, like, everybody has, we're like fingerprints, right? We're all different. We have different lived experiences. But when we speak, we just need to make sure that the dots connect with what you're talking about. Because
we don't speak like that.
She needs a therapy session. Exactly. And I saw Anonymous, you in here talking about, oh, here we go with therapy. Yes.
Aisha. I think for me, like with her, like just what Noma just said, that wow, me too. Like when I grew up, everybody was married. It was very like different from what I come to experience in this country. But then I understand it, but I don't now maybe impose my like, okay, all of you have to be married. If you're not married, then your family is not a good. You don't talk like that. You just say, wow, what happened to you? What happened to you? But the way she was speaking was almost like, this is just how it is. This is that is what is wrong. Like you can't talk like that. Just speak from your own experience. Don't pour it on everybody else, because you have to remember that there are other people coming behind you that you have to protect, right?
It was giving. She was waiting to say that.
It's incredible. Opportunity.
You've been waiting. It's so interesting that, I hear all of you speaking, and it is like, I grew up without parents. And so I had a community of my family. My parents were around, but they just could not handle parenting a young child. And so me and my siblings were given up. Some of them went to adopt, but for the most part, we were wards of the state. And thank God that I was around people, or just even if I didn't see it in my family, if you're paying attention, I feel like if you're looking at church, if you're looking at school, if you're around your friends and you're like, yeah, my upbringing was very different from my very best friend. I went and there was like 2 parents in the home. They're still in the home, right? And here we are, like, 40 years later. But they're still there, and they would, their parents would talk to me and be like, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about college or school counselors? So I guess what I'm saying is, like, there's people around to learn from. I'm just piggybacking off what you all are saying. If you don't have that model to you, you can see it around if you're open to it, if you're not too bitter or too resentful, or your spirit hasn't been too hurt. Now, maybe I just might be a little different because, obviously I had effects from it, but it didn't make me what it usually would have made others. And I'm super grateful for that. Like, I just don't have that.
Yes. That's a great perspective, because I do believe it, we get into conversations even on here. We were saying, like, talking about raising children and modeling. And if you don't have the modeling, sometimes this is why people go this direction or that, but not having the modeling could make an amazing parent. Mm-hmm. So it really depends on that individual and what, like you said, what you're open to seeing, because just because your parents were divorced, my parents were divorced, my children's dad, his parents were divorced, but we are great parents. Like he had trauma, and things like that, but he's a much better father. He's a great father compared to what is that? Maybe I shouldn't even be saying that. But I'm just saying, like, just because.
Let's hope he doesn't see this video.
Right. But just because something bad happens to us, or we have a bad, experience, doesn't mean that that's going to be our worldview, because we have the choice to be like, no, I want to take that. And because of that, I want to be this. That's and not go down that path. So, Yes, yes, yes. Do we have any other videos here?
We do. Is Anonymous talking to me that I was traumatized? I might have been traumatized from childhood, but I know that everybody is not traumatized from childhood. I don't know if she's
He's
about.
talking about.
No, I don't
Talking
think
about the lady on the
there
video?
was no trauma
You're
in
talking about
what
that
you
lady.
said.
Oh, I'm like, wait a
You're about the
minute. Now,
lady,
what did I just
the
say?
video, not the
And I
video.
shouldn't be talking. All right. Okay.
No,
We
Anonymous is
have
very funny.
we had I love Anonymous. It's his
I
perspective.
know.
He said he's gonna come on the show this year.
Oh, he
All
said
right,
he's
so-
talking about me. What you talking about me,
Oh,
Anonymous?
he
Go
was
ahead and
talking
say
about
it.
Don't let
Don't
Anonymous
egg
take
him
you down the
on.
road.
No.
So here we go.
He's saying we need
Anonymous is so
reparations,
funny.
not therapy.
Anonymous,
He
Oh,
always
I'm
says
probably
that.
I'm
we
gonna
need
make
both.
lunch. Maybe you want to come have lunch over here.
Okay, here we go, y'all. This is the last video, and then we can go into final thoughts. But
Okay.
you know, it's just more of I think it's just interesting. Okay, here we go.
What Ryan Davis is doing to his daughter makes a lot more sense when you start to understand that men are generally allowed to abandon their children if they have a good enough reason. And so to gain that good reason, they create narratives, right? And most of the narratives that we hear is they either blame like a legal issue, child support, the courts took like the kids from me, or they blame the child's mother, right? She's vindictive. She's hard to deal with. She sets up the children to not listen to me. And I'm a man. How can I have my children not listen to me? She's emasculating me. Like, you know, you create all of these things that make it impossible for you to be a father. I can't be a father because of all of these external things that are affecting me. Despite women facing these external things too, they seem to somehow always manage to be a mother. But every once in a while, they will do that character assassination. They will run that narrative on the child themselves. And that typically comes behaviorally, right? This child doesn't listen to me and I'm a man. But it's far and few in between, but it happens pretty consistently where they'll just call their kid a gold digger. And that's what he's doing. He's creating the narrative now. She's very young. It's 10, so it's a hard sell. But at 16, do you think it's that hard of a sale? Like at 21, when she's a college student and she needs help with school and stuff, do you think it's that hard of a sell? But when you plant the seed at 10 years old, then everybody around her in the immediate, and it's like us out here, it's a bad look on him, but that's not who he's running this narrative for. He's running the narrative for his own family members who have an expectation for you to care for your children. So he's trying to find a way out of it. And he needs to find a very strategic way to run that narrative that does not lose him access to his other family members. So if she is the problem and she's a greedy little girl who's out for his pockets and doesn't love him like the father he's supposed to be, people will sympathize with that. And when he successfully abandons her, it won't be his fault because he wanted to be the father for you, but you didn't want a father. You wanted an ATM. So really, it's your fault.
Okay. Again, projection.
What he was talking about when he's like, are people this stupid on the internet? She's literally saying a whole
And
bunch
what
of
she's
things.
saying, it's true. That does happen. But this scenario, we don't have
terrible.
enough information to attribute that to this.
No, he didn't say any of that. And in his
Right.
video, he literally said, are people this stupid on the internet? And she just personified it because he did not say any of that.
Did we find any videos of people saying stuff that makes sense? That they're not just projecting? Because again, I agree with what she said. That happens. It happens. But I just don't, from what I've seen, and maybe I'm missing something about this Ryan Davis situation, I didn't see him going, I don't get it.
Yeah, I just wanted y'all to see that. I just wanted y'all to see that people, you know, are waiting.
Project.
They're waiting.
Yeah, they're projecting things.
They're waiting.
They're waiting to say what they wanted to get off their chest. And all right, internet, the internet
Latoya,
wins
we
again.
can see your chats.
We can hear you, girl.
Yes.
Hey, Latoya. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted y'all to see that, and mainly because I think that it just struck a little different for me because I just feel like we're so divided. The internet has us so divided, and
Crazy.
it's hard. It's like the community. Anyway, I'll save it for my final thought. Go ahead, Shalaye. I'll save it for my final thought.
Latoya Young, I think, okay, I went up and I did see a question. He said, hi. You said, did your mom, and maybe this is the reason why she asked if we're seeing her chat. You said, did my mom leave my dad? My mom told my dad, I'm not taking this. Yeah, I'm going to leave you. I think he filed first, though. I think he filed for divorce first, but he knew that, oh, okay, she not with it. So let me go ahead and file this divorce. I believe that that's the way that went down, if that answers your question.
So
All right,
one thing I want to throw in this conversation, sorry, Shalaye, before we
Mhm.
go to final thoughts, is I saw it somewhere in the comments and I agreed with it, but I didn't have a chance to pick it up. We always assume that when two parents split up, that the best parent is the mother, and that actually isn't true.
It's not
Look
true.
at the statistics, guys. Statistically, the outcomes are way better when children go with their father.
Father.
It's not me, it's not my feelings.
That's the truth.
Statistically,
Yes.
research has proven it over
Yeah.
and over and over. A single parent home with a mother is connected to the prison, the preschool to prison pipeline.
Yes.
Yep. A single parent with a father, there's no correlation.
There's no correlation.
The
Yeah.
outcomes are excellent. That's just a fact.
So
Now,
much
there are a
to
lot of
unpack there.
women-
So much, and we ain't got the time, but there's so much to unpack there. I want to know where the stats came
no,
from.
that's
That's true.
You know,
No, that's real talk.
Now,
It's
a
the
lot of
discipline. It's
together
the
with
structure.
and
but
can
what
imagine
what
that
percentage are we looking at? The large majority of percentages go with women. So yeah, you may have a smaller majority of percentages that where it's single parent household with father. But a lot of the times, if they went with the father, that means that the mother was egregiously unfit to have.
No.
No,
thing
it's
is,
just
a lot
true.
of women choose really bad men, so it's hard
Yes.
for them to imagine that
Yes.
a father could be better because their lived experiences. I was with a bum, and I can't imagine that this bum could do better than me. But
Yeah.
under normal
Ooh.
circumstances, it doesn't matter what country you go to, it doesn't matter what community.
Honestly,
Statistically,
I've never heard this. I ain't never
parent
seen it.
is a single parent. The father does better than the mother.
than the
That's
mothers.
just a
I would
fact.
love. Let's do a show about getting into those stats because I
You know,
would
and-
love.
Listen, Noma, you just triggered Shalaye. Listen.
No, I'm like, I know my lived experience is not, what everyone lives,
Everybody's,
but
yeah.
I'm looking at the broad scope of everyone that I know who is married or has parents who are divorced, and people who live with their moms and people who live with their dads. That's that's all I can look at. But another conversation for another time, perhaps.
Yeah, that would be a great
Yeah,
one.
we're learning. The world goes way beyond what we see.
And
The world goes way beyond what we see and what we experience. And statistics, hopefully, are more broad than just looking at one person's view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Noma is on point. Noma is on point there. Yeah.
Shalaye, so they attribute it to the discipline when a good man, we're talking about a good man.
Structure, yeah.
The discipline and the structure, and then like the how logical men can be. As a matter of fact, like I do I co-parent with my child's father, and there's 7 days out of every other week that she goes to her dad. I don't think one thing about it. Like or when I go on trips, I'd be like, go on to your daddy.
Me too. Yes.
But if
Truth is, women are also
if it
more
came-
overwhelmed, more emotionally unstable. There's so many things.
Yes, like I just sent her on to her daddy, and if
everything by herself, and there's nobody supporting her, there's nobody helping her financially, there's nobody helping her emotionally, there's nobody loving her, and all of these other things, she can turn into a whole human being. And we just assume that because she's a mother,
that is true.
Good.
She
And
can.
it isn't true. Statistics prove it over and over.
I'm interested in
this
these
used
statistics.
to be my fear. Listen,
And who's operating them? I'm interested. Let's have the talk.
Okay,
but I don't. See, y'all, we haven't talked in a while, so we miss each other. Okay, like give us some grace.
I've been here.
All right, so we can go to our final thoughts. Okay, Nomalanga, was that your final thought? Oh, you got one. You got
Okay, so my final thoughts are here. I always do try to see other people's point of view. But I think that what we need to do collectively, especially in the Black community, especially when you see young women throw out horrible things and try to attribute it to everybody in the Black community, is we need to be open to looking at good examples and trying to model good examples. Okay, that's a good starting point. And again, my parents weren't always perfect. My father told me that the things that he learned the most about being a man, he didn't even learn from his own father. He said he learned them from his grandfather and an uncle, even though his dad was right there. So we're looking for good examples. We're looking for people who can build us up, build our children up. And when you get older, you can look for those people yourselves. You can look for people who are happy and see what's making them happy, who's successful, what's making them them successful, and so on and so on. And stop the rubbish talk about men are this or that, or he's this and that, and Black people this and that, when it's not negative. Don't let things come out of your mouth that you don't want. Do you really want Black men to be losers? No, because that means your daughters are going to marry losers. Speak life into people, speak the things that you want, and look for them because you'll find them. Okay, that's enough from Auntie Noma. My name is Nomalanga. I am the founder of the M3 program, Marriage, Motherhood, and Money Making. You can find me on Facebook most of the time under Nomalanga Gaborone. That's my new last name. And I'm also the founder of Pads for Our Girls. I'm always looking for donations. The smallest amount matters. We serve a community of young girls who are too poor to afford sanitary pads. And because of this, they miss school. Some of them miss school because they don't have sanitary pads. So any donation counts. Please go to padsforourgirls.com. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Aisha. What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. So interesting today, the conversation. But I'm so grateful that we get to hear people's life stories. That way we can see how, for me personally, we can pray for our community, and also for us, try to be the example. If we see that, wow, this is happening, we now in our own homes try to have a strong home so we can allow the young ones to see that it is possible to have a strong family, that it doesn't have to be broken. And if we get the privilege to be around a young person that is struggling like this, rather than villainize the parents, whether the father or the mother, we should try to support them and help them so they can see the good of their parents, not the bad of their parents. And if we have a chance to see a parent that is saying things that we don't think is appropriate towards their children, instead of amplifying it and retweeting it all over the place, let's talk to the parent to reduce it so that way the harm doesn't continue, because we become part of that harm if we participate in sharing over and over again. So let's try to stop it. And again, just be kind to each other, all of us, no matter whether we have both parents at home or single parent home, we all go through different kinds of struggles, right? We all do, no matter what. Suffering is suffering. So let's just try to be kind to each other, support wherever we can, and just be a good example for the younger ones coming behind us. With that being said, you can find me at the Black Business School. I'm a coach there. If you need anything with your insurance or a retirement plan, just reach out to us. We're here to help you. And you can find me at www.aishaverzi.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha.
Thank
All right,
you.
Tiara, what's your final thought?
So for the last, I would say like 3 weeks, when we took a hiatus from Fly Nubian Money, I got a chance to live. I was not on the internet every day. I actually took a hiatus from the internet as well. And I did that because when I came back to it for this reason, I was like, it's still the same. I feel like there is this like divisive language between Black men and Black women. And sometimes I like to have, and most times I like to have conversations so I can just like call it out so that we all don't get caught up in saying like, oh, Black men is this and Black women is that, and they just trifling and them, and whatever it is. I just think that people are sharing their lived experiences, and there's something really interesting about that. I think we can learn from it. Specifically from Ryan, I think that when he got on the internet, he said a lot of things that was like authentic. I come to see him as like somebody that's just authentic, that's just gonna say what it is. Like, this is what hurt me. He's not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, oh, I grew up like this. He's just not gonna fake the funk. And so I think we can all maybe not do it this way because he's a comedian, but we should all look at our situations and make sure that we're all living authentically. And I just think that there's something that we can learn from here about being authentic and really trying to get to the core of ourselves. So that's why we create these shows, and it's important to me. So my name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood. I am currently about to, in like 5 seconds, at the February 1st is our launch, but I'm going to assist 5 new people, well, new thought leaders. If you're looking to be a thought leader or really get your share your voice with the world, I want to help you do that. you can go to MissBlackHollywood.com if you are looking to start a podcast. And so I want to help 5 people start podcasts this year and really get their voices out into the world. But they got to be good voices. You can't be wanting to talk about trash, because I'm not going to help you do that. Okay. Okay.
No trash.
Right. Shalaye?
No rubbish, as no one would say.
Yes, no rubbish. Go to MissBlackHollywood.net.
We don't want
Say
rubbish.
that again because it was low. Miss Black. The website. Your voice was low.
Oh, MissBlackHollywood.net.
Okay. MissBlackHollywood.net, y'all. Okay, so my final thought is super quick. Because of this that we've been talking about today, I think that we really need to check ourselves as parents. We need to check ourselves, and it's okay to check yourself and to do a check-in with your child and say, okay, let me reset. This is going in a direction that doesn't feel good to me, may not feel good to my kid. It's okay to reset. We don't know everything. And it's okay to realize and admit that we don't know everything. And ask the child, especially if they're of age, they can have a conversation with you. I think that I do this with my daughter all the time. I check in with her. I ask her, is it, even randomly, sometimes I'll just say, is there something this week that I said that bothered you? Or because I know sometimes, especially when we're on the move, I can, it doesn't feel like I'm cutting with my words when I'm saying it, but I can say things in a way where it's like, girl, don't bother me. I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. So we need to check ourselves as parents, and we need to be really, really intentional about how we want our children to, how we want to form those relationships with our children, and how we want them to see us, and how we want them to experience us. That's all. I am Shalaye Camilla with Vital Source Realty. I am here in Boston, Massachusetts, and I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the United States and Canada. And you can visit my website at vitalsourcerealty.com. If you guys are on the internets, go on over to Instagram and follow me at and I'd be glad to have a little chat with you and commune with you. Happy New Year, y'all. And thank y'all so much for joining us today. And let's keep this conversation going. Kids asking for money is not new. That's part of being normal as a normal kid. The real question is how we as parents handle that, and what kids learn from that, and whether every family moment belongs online. Some conversations are about growth. Others are about boundaries. Thank y'all so much for joining us today on Fly Nubian Money, where you help you master your mindset and maximize your money. And we will be here every day at 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. All right, y'all. See y'all later. Y'all have a great week.
Not every day. Not Saturday.
Oh, not every day?
Like Monday through Friday.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Not the weekends.
Girl, we need to rest.
Not Monday through Friday.
See, I'm assuming that everyone here is family and they know. But no, if you're watching the replay or you're new, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
We will see y'all later. Happy New Year. See you next time.